He assisted in writing the legislation which led to the community college system and led the effort which led to the founding of the North Central Education Foundation and the purchase of the land on which ECTC now sits. He practiced law for 52 years, and he was admired by all who knew him. I'll ask Larry if he would give us an invocation, please.
I found a prayer about Labor Day on the internet. I would have given the who this was for, but I think it was unnamed. I thought it would be apropos to share that today. Lord, we celebrate the work we do, and we thank you for the blessing on those who have jobs. We ask for those seeking employment that you guide them in their search for work. We ask for guidance when we are confused. We ask for patience when working through conflicts. We ask for strength to complete each day. We ask for rest when we are weary. We ask that you be with those whose faces we might never see, but who work tirelessly each day for the good of us all. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Larry. Just join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America
and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome everyone to the September 4th City Council meeting. And first item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes for the August 20th meeting, which council received in their packets. And if there's no corrections, additions, or deletions, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
A motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you. Mr. Richardson, you want to give us a Hardin County Chamber update?
Absolutely. Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, everyone. Tomorrow at 1:30 at Fort Knox, there's going to be a ribbon cutting for the Warrior Transition Battalion Complex. This is not a chamber event, but certainly one of great importance. The complex provides temporary home for wounded, ill, or injured service members who require at least 6 months of rehabilitation. So the facility, I think, will house about 400 or 500 soldiers, and unfortunately there are too many of those that are already in there. But tomorrow at 1:30, Spearhead Division Avenue at Fort Knox. The Chamber Golf Scramble is coming up a week from Friday, Mr. Ashlock. September the 14th at 8 a.m. Is when we'll have breakfast. 9 a.m. is the shotgun start. It's $75. You can sign up online at www.hardinchamber.com. This will be at Lindsay. We're having this one at Fort Knox. We had the spring event was at Elizabethtown Country Club. This one's going to be at Fort Knox. On September the 19th, we're having our chamber luncheon. Originally, we're going to be at Vine Grove. However, for logistics reasons, we've had to move that back actually to Pritchard. So that starts at 11:30. Lunch is at 12. This is the United Way of Central Kentucky's kickoff event. So that's September the 19th at Pritchard, chamber luncheon. September 20th at noon, there'll be a ribbon cutting for the St. Vincent de Paul store, a new consignment store at 512 North Mulberry Street. They're a new chamber member. And then on September the 26th, there'll be a ribbon cutting in Radcliffe, excuse me, for Joshua's Friends at the Lifeline Church. And that's September 26th at noon. And that completes my report, sir, unless there are any questions.
Questions for Brad? Thank you, Brad.
Actually, I mentioned that I wanted to take about 30 minutes, if I could, to talk about the Unification Commission, but I didn't get any support for that, so I'll just move on.
So noted.
Thanks, Brad.
Thank you.
Heath, you want to give us a Heritage Council update?
Okay. Well, I'll start out with some the upcoming events. The first, of course, would be the walking tour this Thursday. We've got about 4 left in the year, and so I hope everybody that hasn't made it out can make it out to the walking tour this Thursday at 7 o'clock. Another event we've got coming up, last month we had the Cruise In, which was a great, big, wonderful event with bringing a lot of people into the downtown, and we had the our Ghosts and Legends event, our historical event, brought a lot of people downtown, and this month we've got Via Calore, which coincides with our second Saturday event. And I'm sure somebody else will talk in detail about that, but it's a great event. Sidewalk Painting Festival, lots of kids will be out, and we can't wait to see that. But like I said, later in the day, our event, second Saturday, starts off at 5 o'clock. We understand there's a little bit of a lull with the Sidewalk Painting Festival. We'll bring in some other artists and some other vendors out there. We'll have a little bluegrass music out behind the Brown Pusey House. And so this works in conjunction with the Via Colori and fills a space in there, and it works really well for us. And I'm sure we will see a lot of people out. Last month, second Saturday, was very well attended, and we expect it to be the same this month. And that keeps growing. We keep having more vendors every month calling us and wanting to participate. And we hope by next year to be able to add maybe a concert series in and some other things we've been thinking about. Coming up in October, I won't get into detail, but second Saturday is shaping up to looks like a chili cook-off. There's somebody else that's participating wants to do a zombie walk, and so there's some neat things popping up for October already. So I'll talk about that next time. But one thing I want to stop, I don't think I mentioned some of the businesses that have come in lately. We've still been getting about one a month net. I know the only one I know that we've lost, Ridgemont Furniture. It was a temporary sort of a business, but really we've been getting one net a month, and in this economy, that's very good. Premier Services, Spurrier Surveying, Heartland Communications have all come within the past couple of months into downtown. And I was looking through our list. Out of those, we've had a direct impact on about 5 of those choosing to locate in the downtown area. So we've really been working hard on that. I know at least $700,000 or $800,000 worth of projects, direct physical sorts of building projects that are going on as a result of what we're trying to do in the downtown area. And so things are going good, and looking for new businesses and getting the buildings improved. And obviously the work the city's doing to the sidewalks, we've been getting a very good response from that. Place is going to look great with all the new street lights, new sidewalks, everything matching. And that usually tends to drive even more people to get more interest into those buildings and more people wanting to come and open up new businesses. So we hope in the next year, as a result of the work that the city is doing with those sidewalks and improvements to the infrastructure, to see even more businesses coming downtown. So anyway, it's been a good few months, and I don't think I've mentioned enough about the businesses lately, but it's good on that front too. Great activities and nice businesses. Recently, we've had a lot more retail and restaurant. We've had, without getting into details, which can't always do, we've definitely had an uptick in people interested in retail and restaurants again. It kind of goes through cycles according to the year, I think, but heading towards Christmas, people start thinking about that. And all's looking great, and if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Where are we in addressing the buildings that we own and getting those ready to rent? We're sitting there with the Newberry building that just looks the same as it
Right.
before we purchased it.
That's right. That we've got the windows are, there's actually a little safety issue with those. So the windows, you'll see those replaced probably the next week or so. We've been getting estimates on some other things. There's that particular building. It's really borderline. It's borderline on its historical significance. Also, there's roof issues with it, and so we're trying to look into it to see, do we keep it? If we do, how much is it going to cost to re-roof the place? And we'll probably be bringing that to you as soon as we get some more information. But we've been looking at that. We've definitely got a lot of information on the building across the street. Once in a while, something will pop up, and there might be an interest. Some party might be interested in one of the buildings, and so that kind of changes things sometimes. So we're looking at those 2 buildings, though, the one right on the corner across the street. We're looking at Newberry's. Newberry's you'll see some action on probably first, just for safety issues. But both were underway. And I can give you more details later.
There was an interested party here recently that was interested in the building across the street, and one of the options they were talking about was buying it as is, and they would renovate it themselves. So
I kind of
waiting to get a response back from them and before we do.
Slows things down. Sometimes you get surprises, but they're good. It's a good surprise. So hopefully we'll see how that goes.
Keith, I don't know if it's you or maybe Charlie, the alley there by the Chamber of Commerce, we had spoken in regards to doing that differently. Is that in the works with the new sidewalks, ingress, egress from there?
We're not doing a lot with the area there that I think you're referring to, kind of where the parking spaces and the open space is. We don't have a definite plan. We're going to get the sidewalks in, make a transition, and then kind of wait to see what kind of development we need for that area.
Any questions for Heath? Thank you, Heath.
Thanks.
We handed out a memo to the council that talks about our historic preservation ordinance that the council approved last month. And now we need to appoint members to our Historic Preservation Commission. And we have 5 members here that we'd like for you to approve. And by ordinance, 2 of the members are to be employed in certain professions, one with an architecture background and one with urban planning. Pat Appleman has agreed to serve, and he's a registered architect and is employed at Fort Knox, lives here in the city. And of course, the second one is Commissioner is Mike Burris. Mike is an urban planner who is employed by the Lincoln Trail Area Development District. And the other members are, there's a little broader scope that we can use. And the third member is Stuart Couch, which is a downtown property owner. And the fourth one is Charlie Skis, which everyone knows Charlie, Colonel, General. I'm sorry.
General.
General.
Oh, you demoted him.
General Custer, which knows the history forwards and backwards of Elizabethtown. And the fifth is final member is Mo Miller, and Mo is a business owner here in Elizabethtown and has shown a great interest in revitalizing our downtown. So I would like to entertain a motion to appoint the members to the Historic Preservation Commission that consist of Pat Appleman, Mike Burris, Stuart Couch, Charlie Skis, and Mo Miller.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Discussion.
Just one question here, that we're going to give an honorarium for those. Are we going to go and give honorarium for everybody serving on commissions and boards and things, or how are we dividing out who gets an honorarium? It's not much money. It's just, I guess, the principle of the thought.
Right. That's what we've talked about is
Dealing with property issues is where I think we're trying to make a division there, where we have people that are dealing with property issues.
And we said that in budget.
Commissions that deal with property, will get paid. All
Planning
others
Commission,
is-
Code Enforcement, Reservation Commission. Did I have a motion second?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any other questions, comments? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you. All right, we have 3 ordinances for a second reading, and the first one I'll entertain a motion to read ordinance number 18-2012, setting 2012 tax rate for real and personal property at 11.6 cents per each $100 value.
Motion.
Second.
A motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Edie?
And Mayor, these 3 being second readings, I will summarize. The first one, number 18-2012, is an ordinance that sets an ad valorem tax of 11.6 cents on each $100 of value of all real estate and tangible personal property. This was read the first time on August the 20th, 2012.
Thank you, Edie. Do I have a motion to adopt?
Motion.
Second. Second. Is there any discussion? If not, this is a roll call vote, starting with Councilmember Lewis.
Yes.
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 All members that are present voting yes. Thank you. All right, the next ordinance, I entertain a motion to read ordinance number 19-2012, setting tax rate for all motor vehicle and watercraft at 11.6 cents per each $100 value.
Motion.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Edie?
This ordinance sets an ad valorem tax of 11.6 cents on each $100 of assessed valuation of all motor vehicles and watercrafts, and it too was read for the first time on August the 20th, 2012.
Thank you, Edie. Do I have a motion to adopt?
So moved. Second.
Motion second. This is a roll call vote, starting with Councilmember Fulkerson.
Yes.
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 All members present voting yes. Thank you. And the third ordinance for second reading, I'll entertain a motion to read ordinance number 20-2012, setting franchise tax rate of 0.025% on all eligible bank deposits as defined in KRS Chapter 136.
Motion.
Second.
And motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
This ordinance number 20-2012, which imposes a franchise tax of 0.025% on all eligible deposits as defined in KRS Chapter 136 and maintained by such defined financial institutions. This was read the first time on August the 20th, 2012.
Thank you, Edie. Do I have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Is there any discussion? Not all in favor say aye. No, I'm sorry. This is a roll call vote. Sorry. starting with Councilmember Bishop.
Yes.
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 Thank you. All members present voting yes. All right, we have one ordinance for first reading, and before I entertain a motion to read it, I'll ask Ed to come up and explain about the closing of the right-of-way, portion of the right-of-way.
Yeah, it's proposed that we close the last 75 to 100 feet of a currently platted right-of-way known as Headquarters Court. It's off Peterson Drive. The property owner who owns all the lots at the end of the cul-de-sac would like to close it, and then they'll reconstruct the street so that they can expand their business operations.
Is there any questions, Fred? If not, I'll entertain a motion to have a first reading of ordinance number 21-2012, closing a portion of right-of-way known as Headquarters Court.
So moved.
Second.
A motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Edie?
Be it ordained by the City of Elizabethtown, Kentucky, that from and after the passage, approval, and publication of this ordinance, that the right-of-way known as Headquarters Court, and more particularly described in Exhibits A and B, is hereby closed to any and all vehicular traffic pursuant to KRS 82.405, Sections 1 and 2. The Elizabethtown City Council hereby makes the following findings of fact. A, the following property owner is the only property owner in and abutting said right-of-way known as Headquarters Court, and that is RBT Services. B, written notice of the proposed closing was given to all property owners in and abutting said right-of-way of Headquarters Court. C, all property owners in and abutting said right-of-way of Headquarters Court have given their written notarized consent to the closing, and a copy of same is attached hereto as Exhibit C. Pursuant to the above findings of fact and to KRS 82.405, the Elizabethtown City Council hereby determines that the right-of-way of Headquarters Court should be closed, and that the owners in and abutting the former right-of-way of Headquarters Court do agree to the closing. Be it further ordained that the mayor of the city is hereby authorized to execute any and all documents, sales, contracts, deeds, forms, applications, and statements to transfer said property to RBT Services, the adjoining property owner. The property owner shall also pay all expenses associated with the property transfer, including surveys and subdivision plats if necessary. Be it further ordained that the mayor of the city and or his designate be and he is hereby authorized and directed to take all steps necessary to perfect this ordinance, including but not limited to the execution and delivery of a quitclaim deed to the appropriate surrounding property owner. Read the first time this the 4th day of September 2012.
Thank you, Dee Dee. And we'll have a proposed second reading for that ordinance on September 17th, our next meeting, official council meeting. Now we're going to our municipal orders, and Scott, you want to come up and talk about the utility relocation agreements with Kentucky Transportation Cabinet? Go ahead and talk about both of those, if you don't mind.
Okay. As we discussed last week, we've got several small projects we're doing along Miles Street and the Elizabethtown to Radcliffe connector, and we're just asking for a blanket authorization to execute all the contract documents that are necessary for the highway department for those. I think we've got 4 now on Miles Street and 2 on the connector.
I know this doesn't have much to do with it, but do they give us any indication on time frames, anything of that nature on
So,
either one of those?
They haven't told me.
Is there any other questions for Scott? Thank you, Scott.
Yes, sir.
If not, if there's not any other questions, I'll entertain a motion to read municipal order number 75-2012, authorizing the mayor to execute utility relocation agreements with the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet for the Elizabethtown to Radcliffe Connector Road.
Motion. Motion second.
A motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
At a regular meeting of the City Council of Elizabethtown, Kentucky, held on the date set out below, a motion to read and adopt the following municipal order was duly made, seconded, and approved. Be it ordered that the City of Elizabethtown authorizes the mayor to execute utility relocation agreements with the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet for the Elizabethtown to Radcliffe Connector Road. Said agreement shall provide reimbursement to the city for the required relocations. Be it further ordered that the mayor of the city and or his designate be and he is hereby authorized and directed to take all steps necessary to perfect this order. Read, adopted, and approved this the 4th day of September 2012.
Thank you, Dee Dee. Do I have a motion to adopt?
Motion. Second.
A motion second. Is there any discussion? Not all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
As opposed? Thank you. All All right, I'll entertain a motion to read municipal order number 76-2012, authorizing the mayor to execute utility relocation agreements with the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet for the North Mile Street widening project.
Motion. Second.
Motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Edie?
A regular meeting of the City Council of Elizabethtown, Kentucky, held on the date set out below. A motion to read and adopt the following municipal order was duly made, seconded, and approved. Be it ordered that the City of Elizabethtown authorizes the mayor to execute utility relocation agreements with the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet for the North Mile Street widening project. Said agreement shall provide reimbursement to the city for the required relocations. Be it further ordered that the mayor of the city and/or his designate be and he is hereby authorized and directed to take all steps necessary to perfect this order. Read, adopted, and approved this the 4th day of September, 2012.
Thank you, Edie. Do I have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Is there any discussion? Not all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you. Scott? Talk about our
Thank you, Mayor.
bids that we received on the Interceptor Sewer.
Yes, sir. We received 17 total bids from 8 different contractors. There were 3 phases and then a combined bid that they could give us. For the Billy Creek Interceptor phases 2, 3, and 4, that will complete the Billy Creek job from Ring Road to the sports park and then the sports park down to the Valley Creek Interceptor, and complete all that sewer. It's 36 and 42-inch pipe with some smaller 12s and 10s that come off of it as well. We're asking for Scott and Ritter from Bowling Green to be the contract that's awarded. I think you all received the bid tabs.
Looks like they were low on all phases.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we're gonna accept one combined bid is what we plan on doing.
Okay.
What's the length of this whole project once it's awarded? Is
Uh,
this going to roll to next year or something?
It's 270 working days
Okay.
is the contract. So that's a little over a year.
Scott and Ritter done work for the city.
Yes, sir. They did the Freeman Lake Sewer Interceptor, and they're also working on the Winchester Park Basin, and then they did the gas relocation on Mile Street. I think are the 3 here in the last 3 or 4 years that they've done.
Is there any other questions for Scott? Thank you, Scott.
Yes, sir.
If not, I'll entertain a motion to read municipal order number 78-2000. I'm sorry, got ahead of myself. Municipal order number 77-2012, accepting bid from Scott Ritter for the Billy Creek Interceptor Sewer Project phases 2, 3, and 4 in the amount of $6,145,950.75.
Motion.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Edie?
At a regular meeting of the City Council of Elizabethtown, Kentucky, held on the date set out below, a motion to read and adopt the following municipal order was duly made, seconded, and approved. Be it ordered that the City of Elizabethtown accepts the bid from Scott and Ritter, Inc. of Bowling Green for the Billy Creek Interceptor Sewer Project, phases 2, 3, and 4, in the amount of $6,145,950.75. Be it further ordered that the mayor of the city and/or his designate be and he is hereby authorized and directed to take all steps necessary to effect this order. Read, adopted, and approved this the 4th day of September, 2012.
Thank you, Dee Dee. Do I have a motion to adopt?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you. Troy, tell us Safe Neighborhood Grant.
I believe each member of the council was given a packet that talked about the Project Safe Neighborhood Grants on Friday of last week. Just want to answer a couple of questions, and the concerns have been, why is the city of E-Town getting money from the Louisville Metro government? And the PSN, or the Project Safe Neighborhoods, is a program that's been around since 2001. It's administered through the BJA, the Bureau of Justice Administration, and the PSN funding is managed through local U.S. Attorney's Office. And in this case, it's through the Western District of Kentucky U.S. Attorney David Hale. And these funds come through that office, but they have to have a subrecipient that gets the money through a designated area, and the U.S. Attorney's Office chooses Louisville Metro government to disperse the funds. So we make the request to the U.S. Attorney's Office. They in turn give it to to Louisville Metro, and then Louisville Metro disperses the funds that way. That's why we had to go through Louisville Metro to get this funding. It's actually through the U.S. Attorney's Office and the Bureau of Justice Administration through their Project Safe Neighborhoods grant. It's designed for to reduce gun crime, and the funds that we're using are going to be used to get some surveillance equipment to allow us in the furtherance of gun crime. It has to be utilized in prosecution or arrests or taking weapons off of the street, and the gun crime and the drugs go hand in hand. So the two pieces of equipment that we're trying to purchase are both going to be used for that. One is a small Oculus mini camera, and the other is a pole cam that we can use in different locations throughout the community. The total amount of the grant is $16,000. The items that we are looking at are $19,489, I believe, and that difference of $3,489 is going to come from a drug forfeiture seizure fund that we have at the PD. So the $16,000 grant and the seizure money is what's going to pay for these two items.
Troy, will we be, our department using these, or will we share with the task force, or do you think, or
the items
just for you guys, our police department?
It's for the E-Town Police Department, and we're the sub-recipient of the grant.
Yeah.
Now, if there's a problem or there's an area of concern that the task force or somebody needs to utilize this equipment, then we can work in conjunction with those to help. I don't think we'll hold it to ourselves. We'd obviously want to help whoever we can and make it available to them.
Troy, will that pole cam be set up and in use all the time, or just on special occasions when we think in a particular area that it's needed?
I think right now it's going to be, it's able to be moved, and it is climate controlled, so we can move it remotely. And these items can be viewed from an iPad or from a smartphone. Both of these items can be. But to answer your question, it's going to be utilized in different locations where we see issues, where we get leads on things such as that. I don't think we're going to put it up and just leave it in a location. We'll utilize it for an investigation. We may bring it down and put it someplace else when we get something else. But one thing about this, with technology, everything's come so far. It's come a long way from standing, listening to a micro cassette recorder and an earpiece, to now we can actually control these things with the apps, and we can move and zoom and hear audio and video on a smartphone or an iPad in real time.
And obviously at times it'll be in locations that people don't know that they're being watched.
Hopefully we'll get it up all the time and nobody will know that we're up. It's just a little, it's just a covert type device. Do you have any questions? The main concern was, I think the questions had been the city of Elizabethtown getting funding from Louisville Metro, and it's through the BJA and the U.S. Attorney's Office.
We'll take whoever's giving it out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Doesn't matter.
Thank you, Troy.
Okay.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to read municipal order number 78-2012, authorizing the mayor to execute a grant agreement with Louisville Jefferson County Metro Government for a Project Safe Neighborhood Grant in the amount of $16,000.
Motion.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Edie?
At a regular meeting of the City Council of Elizabethtown, Kentucky, held on the date set out below, a motion to read and adopt the following municipal order was duly made, seconded, and approved. Be it ordered that the City of Elizabethtown authorizes the mayor to execute a grant agreement with the Louisville Jefferson County Metro Government for a Project Safe Neighborhood Grant in the amount of $16,000. Be it further ordered that the mayor of the city and or his designate be and he is hereby authorized and directed to take all steps necessary to perfect this order. Read, adopted, and approved this the 4th day of September 2012.
Thank you, Edie. Do I have a motion to adopt?
I'll move second.
Motion second. Is there any discussion? Not all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you. Charlie, you want to talk about a resolution?
Very briefly, the county is currently in the process of updating its solid waste management plan. Part of that update is to request that the city indicate its desire to continue to participate in the county plan. So this is done through a resolution. That's their method that they are required to do. So It's a resolution to ask the city to reaffirm its participation in the county solid waste management.
I'm not saying I speak against it, but it's my understanding we didn't have a choice anyway, right?
You could look for other alternatives, but
Where else are you going?
I thought sort of by statute you were kind of stuck with,
no, it's
not that I'm saying I'm
It's in our best interest.
advocating
Yeah.
against it, but I just want to know.
Is there any other questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to read resolution number 07-2012 approving to participate in the Hardin County Solid Waste Management Area.
Motion.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Whereas the city of Elizabethtown desires to actively participate in the Hardin County Solid Waste Management Area, and whereas the city of Elizabethtown realizes that development of a solid waste management plan is prerequisite to updating the designation as a solid waste management area, and whereas the city of Elizabethtown finds it in the best interest to participate in the development of a solid waste management plan with Hardin County, and whereas this resolution is part of the update process for solid waste management area designation, now therefore be it resolved that the update for area designation is hereby approved by the city of Elizabethtown. Read, adopted, and approved this the 4th day of September 2012.
Thank you, Dee Dee. Do I have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you. Excuse me. We're going to informational items and the natural gas rates. For the month of August, our rate per 1,000 cubic feet was $4.31. And for September, it's $4.59. And for the average monthly residential bill based on 4,000 cubic feet usage is $24.24 for August. And it will be $25.36 for September. And a year ago, it was $30.12.
I have an interesting question. Does things like the hurricane, does that affect those very much? Yes.
Anything affect those that
Yes.
they think they carry volatile commodities. Right?
Cold weather does. Hot weather.
Troy, you want to talk about our monthly traffic accident report?
For the month of August, compared to July, our total number of accidents was actually down by 3. The numbers were very close for the month of August and July, but we actually went down by 3. However, our injury accidents increased by 2. So we're down in some and up in others, and kind of a net wash. We do have the same locations continue to be a problem. North Dixie, north of the bypass. Those accidents in that area were up by 1 compared to last month. And again, most of the accidents are dealing with rear end accidents, driver inattention, and disregarding traffic lights. We just ask, again, we say this all the time, but motorists just need to pay very close attention in that area. Anywhere from the bypass north on 31W, especially in the area where the construction is coming off of the bypass. There's construction all over the community in North Miles area. These numbers are going to fluctuate, but at least this month they didn't go up. They went down a little bit, and hopefully we can continue to see that.
You know, you're right about the street. I've found myself, I'm thinking probably good half dozen times in the last week or so, sitting at the light there at the 31W Ring Road, the turning left, and at least 3 cars come through after the green light is going either north or south.
Now you're talking about, we get a lot of complaints about cars traveling southbound on Dixie, then make the left turn and they run that light.
Yeah.
And it's difficult for a one-man person, a traffic detail, to do that by themselves, because having to get in a position to effectively enforce it. So we do take units up there 2 or 3 at a time sometimes and put up special details to watch that traffic light, because it is so dangerous. When you get people that are running red lights, that in conjunction with the speed of the person that's running that light is where you end up getting a lot of these injuries. So we do try to focus on those, but when we do, utilizing just regular shift work and federal overtime monies, we try to send details up there of at least 2 to 3 guys to be able to focus and work that pretty hard, especially in the afternoons.
Seems like everybody's in a hurry to get into Walmart too.
Everybody's in a hurry to get everywhere.
Yes.
Roy, have we noticed any decrease in accidents on Dixie, say from the courthouse out to St. John Road since the relaning, restriping? I mean, I think that's a big improvement, but
I don't have any hard numbers to say it's gone up or down. I know that we've had more positive comments than negative, I think, as far as it being better. You're still going to get people complain sometimes that they can't make a left or they can't get out certain times of the day, and that's true because we've all had to sit through it. But as far as accidents are concerned, like I said, I don't have any specific numbers, but I would venture to say that they are down just from the calls for service that I can recall.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you, Troy.
Okay.
Troy may get you all to start doing the calls for service related stops instead of just the traffic accidents. These are kind of interesting.
Those numbers
A
and
couple
things.
people are still alive with 0.623 alcohol.
That was not a driver.
Yeah, they're
That was
walkers.
well, he was a layer at that particular time, but yes, sir. He was. That was the highest that the hospital said they had ever seen. Amazing. Yes, sir.
You know, Otis Campbell is, you know, nothing
Oh
there.
goodness.
Thanks, Troy.
Okay.
Does anyone in the audience like to address the council? If not, does council members have anything?
Where's Mrs. Long?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
oh,
Was she really?
was she?
yeah.
You made it funny.
Anyone else? Council have any comments?
I was going to suggest, Mayor, that we give Brad Richardson his 30 minutes to unification, but he left, so.
Oh.
Got on a shirt.
Can we call you?
All right, if there's not any other comments, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Don't move. So.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor, say
Aye.
aye. Those opposed, thank you.
I should go on the record. This is twice in a row. No closed session. Wow.
We couldn't talk about
He
unification.
has all the legal work done.
What did Brad say?
Arnold,
He
see you
said
later.
I can't believe he
Yeah,
said
he
that.
had to get that jab in.
But-
That was
but
that
what
was
he said,
really a
he wanted 30
jab.
minutes to talk about.
Yeah, you didn't use support.
He said because there was no support. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think you tried to be funny.
Well, yeah.